Here we go.
Yes. How's everybody doing today? We got my guy Gunner Souls in the building, and I'm in the building back again with another video. And today we got to talk about Arsenal Monaco. Ended 1-1, had to go to penalty shootouts, and Ramsdale made a save. And the reason why I'm saying preseason is over, I want to take that game versus Manchester City serious, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want us messing around. This is a first opportunity we play Man City, and I want us to go out there and take that game serious. I want us to go and win that Community Shield. I know it's not a major trophy, but I'm not considering it preseason because we're facing a big dog in Man City, and this is an opportunity to lay a marker down, to let them know we mean business, and to try to get something done. I know Liverpool won last year, and then Man City went on to win the league. So if it means we're going to win the league, I might take a loss. But at the same breath, I want to win it. I want to see a serious game, and that's why I'm saying preseason is over for me. But what a game we just witnessed. I think this was probably the most lowest scoring game I've seen in Emirates Cup. Last year we scored 6. The year before that, it escapes me, but I feel like we scored more goals in that game also. So we almost lost this. We came down to penalties. Ramsdale saved the day. If you guys don't know, the reason why there's a Jesus injury scare in the title of the video is because reportedly before the game we found out that Jesus was left out of the team for precautionary reasons. In addition to that, Saka never really got much game time in this game. He went down the tunnel apparently, and he didn't come back to play in the second half at all. And he kind of showed we missed Bukayo Saka. He's irreplaceable in my opinion. Out of all the players we have, he's one player who's irreplaceable. And there's some other news. If you guys don't know, Tomiyasu's been linked away. We've had Pepe's been linked away finally, and the Terminator Edu has come alive. And then there's so much more to get into. But before we go any further, let me know who your man of the match of the day was, because in the comment section we have a vote in the poll. Who was your man of the match? I couldn't think of too many man of the matches, Souls, so I came up with these names: Thomas Partey, Eddie Nketiah, Timber, and then I put everybody else in other, because I felt like those were the 3 guys who stood out for me the most. Reason why I say Thomas Partey is integral to our midfield. He is that piece to the puzzle that just makes everything tick, and it's crucial that we have him as definitely.
I think there's one name you're disrespecting. I think Martinelli had a way better game than Nketiah.
Okay, fair enough. I put Eddie Nketiah in there because he was the goal scorer. He was the captain on the night, and he was a reputable name in the game. Throughout the game, he did make a lot of great moves. It just nobody else was in the final third with him to kind of help him out. So that was the situation there. And Timber, I just thought Timber was solid throughout the whole game. Played left back again for a majority of the game. And then if I was going to name other names, would probably be, probably go and look at Trossard. Trossard was an instant impact off the bench. Always is a 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10 player. He does amazing. Jorginho is a good shout. I see some people in the comment section talking about Jorginho. Definitely a good shout. And long story short, I just felt like it was a good little game. But let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got about 72 of you guys in the building. We're going to go through everything that Mikel Arteta says, everything about the injuries, and everything you need to know about Arsenal at this moment in time. But Souls, take it away before we go break everything down. Let me know what you thought about the game.
Yeah, overall, do you know what? I think it was maybe because I was tired. I had an earlier shift today at work, and I mean, it was one of those games where we physically got dominated, and we had to kind of play the game against their physicality. And it's always going to be like this. It's going to be very stop start. But you know what? Like a few players surprised me, and a lot of people on the timeline will massively disagree with what I'm going to say with certain players. I thought Fabio Vieira did well. I think Havertz did well. I think the Declan Rice party, we'll get into it. You know, that experiment for me failed. And I think with Ramsdale as well, it seems like with the whole David Raya situation, it's a little fire up his ass to actually start performing. So without giving too much away in terms of breaking each section down, overall, this was a game we needed, because when we look at the traditionals like Burnley, for example, not anymore under Vinny Kompany, but we are going to get those lower end teams who are just going to play physically against us. They're going to get their dominant centre backs. Brighton's going to be a prime example, like the likes of Lewis Dunk, etc., coming for us and playing physical. So we needed this test, and I'm glad Monaco gave us that test to see how we would do against an opposition who's going to be very physical, very demanding in that sense. So look, we've gotten every type of experiment: a possession team, a transition team, and now a physical team. So we should be well prepped, and Arteta should have an idea of how we can overcome these challenges. So overall, yeah, I'm quite happy with today's game. Yes, a bit boring, a bit stale, but you're gonna get that. It's preseason.
No, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Everyone in the comment section, big up. We got some people saying Eddie and Ketia's in the room. Guys saying Jesus needs to be fit if you want to challenge. I think we're going to get into that very, very soon. My man, we were shocking. I do agree. At times, the game was difficult to watch. I do agree. It was somewhat boring at times also. So I understand the skepticism and the worry that some people have. Also, people, do me a favor. Do hit a like button on this video. We're trying to get at least past 100 likes on this video. Souls, did you have any other key points that you thought we need to talk about this game right now? Because I'm a little bit like taken back by the whole game. I felt like, you know what, Ramsdale made a save. It was pretty. You could pretty much point out. You could pretty much skip the whole second half, in my opinion.
No. There's a few moments in the second half that I want to talk. Like, for example, Havertz's cameo. That's a very important one to talk about. I think Trossard is a main talking point. I think in the first half, if you want to talk, or even just generally, Fabio Vieira's overall performance. But I want to talk about the contrast in his first half performance to his second half performance. I feel like a lot of recency bias comes into his performance. So there are a few talking points, like obviously Timbers is one. You know, Kieran Tierney coming on. You know, Ben White playing with Kieran Tierney, playing two traditionally full-back roles. So yeah, I think there's a few things to break down really, and obviously the key talking point with a lot of people is going to be Gabriel Jesus, but ESR as well coming into the 10 role, or the sort of Odegaard 10-8 advance, however you want to put it. So that's another talking point on whether that's his future or whether we think, no, that entirely failed.
Let's rewind it quickly to the beginning of the game. Before the game started, Arsene Wenger was in the building for the statue unveiling, and this was nice to see Arsene Wenger returning for the statue unveiling. Of course, fitting that he does this against a team that he used to manage against in Monaco. So it does make sense. About time Eagle's here. Big up. Thank you for the break. Finally, Eagle's back. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Big up everyone in the chat. Eagle, humble pie on your face. Months ago, comparing English Elneny to Rice and Partey. What?
He's saying Rice is the English Mo Elneny.
Rice is not the English Mo Elneny. Come on, have some respect. People saying Partey was amazing. Monaco bullied us physically. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Congratulations, Iga, on the newborn baby. Thank you so much. Keep Tomiyasu. We're going to have to talk about these. You know what? I'm going to actually bookmark some of your comments to come back to them. Timber is the man of the match, somebody says. We're going to talk about Timber in a second. Jorginho Trossard. Good comment right there. Egal turned his opinion on Partey. People are calling me a turncoat. What? Bro, be honest. You've been on streams with me many times. Have I ever said I want to sell both Xhaka and Partey?
No, you said we shouldn't sell both. We should keep one, whether it's Xhaka or Partey. But what I want to also say to people is the general consensus within the Arsenal fan base was never to sell Partey. But what the consensus for someone like myself, I understand the selling of Partey because of his age, because of the injury record he's got, and also you got to look at how the season ended. So I do understand it.
We did not do well. I agree. Fabio did okay. He didn't do terrible.
We can talk about that. That's a talking point I want to talk about, and I'll tell you why I think certain things.
Okay. And then let me just get through some of these comments. Congratulations. Thank you. Jesus out for a month. Breaking news. I don't know if that's breaking news yet.
So Arteta in his press conference actually said, so what happened was when he came in the morning, they had to evaluate his knee, and he's actually going to go for treatment and potentially another operation.
Wow.
But he is out for weeks. That was confirmed by Arteta. It will be weeks.
When did Arteta say this?
In his press conference.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He said, I definitely had a notification about it.
Oh my God. Let's go into Arteta's press conference right now. We can't even look at the game. We just got to go straight into the press conference conversations. Are you serious? Is that bad?
Yeah, Fabrizio tweeted it. So he said he had a little procedure this morning. He's injured, unfortunately. He's had some discomfort in his knee that caused him issues, and he had to go. He's going to be out for a few weeks. So if you go into Fabrizio's...
Oh my God. This is Trossard's time. Trossard, Martinelli, Saka. That's my starting team. I'm looking at this right now, and I am concerned, ladies and gentlemen. You're telling me Arteta on Gabriel Jesus. He has a knee injury. He had a little precaution this morning. His injury is unfortunate. He had some discomfort in his knee, causing some issues, and he's going to be out for a few weeks. This is going to set people into panic. This is going to make people panic, ladies and gentlemen. I am not panicking because I believe Trossard and stuff can hold it down. But Eddie today missed way too many chances for me to be starting. I think we got to go with Martinelli, Trossard, and Bukayo Saka for the beginning of the season until Jesus gets back. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but I think Trossard's a quality player. He can play anywhere. So let's get him in there. That's my solution, at least. What are you guys going to do with Jesus' injury? Because this is concerning. I'm concerned now. Forget about the game for a second. I agree. Trossard false 9. That's what we got to do. Balogun is going. 100% Balogun is going. He didn't play. If you have Jesus in your fantasy team, get him out. Yo, what are you saying, bro? Jesus.
Do you know what? I'm actually not as panicked as many are. There's a few reasons behind that, because firstly, you've got Trossard. But the solution for me is, even if we look at Martinelli and wanting to ease him back, because don't forget he did have an ankle injury coming into pre-season. And he was actually out for start of the summer in terms of just their sort of training and stuff behind the scenes. So even if people are concerned about Martinelli not being able to start the season, what we should be doing, and for me, the best solution is putting Eddie Nketiah as the winger and bringing Trossard into the middle. Because when you look at Eddie Nketiah and his performance today, a lot of it was great movement and actually okay build-up play. But the issue was he can't finish, whereas a Trossard is more elite in front of goal. And that's what we need to be doing. Plus, that means there's going to be a midfield shake-up as well. And Havertz, for me, is going to be even more important to start the season. And that's the reason why I'm not that worried. Yes, of course, Gabriel Jesus brings us to a whole new level. But, yeah, Eddie on the wing, that's what I would do, personally. Only if Martinelli's not ready for the start of the season.
I think Martinelli should be ready, but regardless, Trossard starts for me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody better than Trossard at this moment in time to be coming into that situation and helping us. People are saying, "What? Are you guys not? Have you guys not been reading what's been going on?" I was shocked myself this morning when I heard the news that Jesus is injured. I thought it was just a precaution, but this is actually a big problem. You got physically bullied by the French league team. LOL. Don't claim the Premier League has more physicality. ? What?
He's asking, didn't you claim the Premier League was the most physical?
You know what? The French league is actually pretty physical, but at the end of the day, these guys, Monaco were playing really rough. You gotta give them credit. Not every team plays the way Monaco played. I'm not sure the whole French league plays the same way, but hey, it is what it is. Today, they were a physical team, but don't act like we were out there with many of our starters. If I'm not mistaken, they played majority of their starters for that game.
Pretty much. Yeah, majority of them start, maybe one or two missing, but on a whole, that's as close to their starting 11 as possible.
And this is what you want in a preseason friendly game. You want to face different types of teams. You want to face a team that plays low block. You want to play a team like Barcelona who holds on to possession. You want to play a team like lower down the table that are going to be physical. These are the kind of games you need for preparation for the season. That's why I'm saying the next game is not a preseason game. This was our last preseason game, in my opinion.
Yes.
But yeah, Gabriel Jesus being injured is going to be a problem. People saying replace Balogun for no, man, that's not happening. It's just not happening. Like I know some people make up want something else to happen, but that won't happen. I don't see that happening at all. Like unlikely, very unlikely.
Do you know what though? Like, there's a part of me that I know it's a cynical part of me that's thinking this is Balogun's chance, and I genuinely do think that.
Don't you think Balogun's gone?
I think this changes a lot, because if we're being absolutely real, we need to quickly come up with 80 million to 100 million pounds to be able to get Victor Osimhen in. I don't think we're going to be doing no stopgap signing for a striker. We're going to be going for a striker we've always wanted. Whether that's now Ivan Ferguson or whether it's someone like, Victor Osimhen, it has to be somewhat of a high profile.
No, but did you not see what happened yesterday? They said this about Balogun. This was what they said yesterday about Balogun. They said, if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal's asking price, Arsenal have to basically drop their asking price in order for the player to be sold, where Inter are now looking at Scamacca as an alternative. And guess what? Ironically, now the Inter are looking at Scamacca, West Ham are looking at Balogun.
I mean, West Ham got the money. They can pay 50 million.
I think Balogun is gone. The fact that the man hasn't played, he's gone. People talking about kudos. Guys, we have to get rid of players before we bring players in. It's really untenable to continue to sign players before you get rid of players, or else you're going to get...
I think Kudus could be done without sales. It's just whether we could then get David Raya is where the question marks are going to come in.
We're going to have to talk about David Raya in a second. We're going to go back to the game, but just one more thing. West Ham could make a move for Balogun, as reported by ex-West Ham employee. This is a very reliable journalist here, an ex-West Ham employee, one of the biggest West Ham sources, but I still don't think this is etched in stone that they're going to make a bid or anything like that. It's just saying they could make a move. He's just putting it out there. That is a possibility. Let's see if it picks up any steam. Now, moving on to the game, we got to get back to the game. We got to talk about a couple players, right? We got to talk about a couple players because there's a couple players who made their debuts. There's a couple of players who made their welcomes to the Premier League, and there's also a new captain today. You know who the captain today was? It was Eddie Nketiah was the captain today. Eddie Nketiah was Arsenal's captain versus Monaco, and people were offended by this. But this just shows me that Balogun is probably going to be leaving, and Eddie's going to be the guy who stays. There is no way in hell that you put him into this game as a captain and then sell him the next game. I think he's gone. I think Balogun is gone. Eddie's going to be the guy, and Eddie eventually got his goal. Eddie Nketiah eventually got his goal, eventually did his celebration, and I could see him getting many chances this season where Balogun is not going to seem to get any of those chances.
That's where the mistake is for me, because the truthful, you know what it is? Eddie Nketiah, don't get it twisted. I don't think he's a bad player by any means. I'm not even talking like he's a bad back. He's a third choice striker for me. He's someone that you want to sit behind another striker. And that's where the problem comes in, because I don't really trust Eddie Nketiah coming into the season. Now, the thing is, I've always said it, Nketiah will have a good start to the season, but you'll start to see him fizzle out. You'll start to see those flaws come back in his game. And the reality is, people can root for this signing, but he was part of the reason to why we couldn't get the points to win the league.
Listen, calma. Guys, don't panic. Don't panic. We're not done. We're not done.
I do think, for me, it's got to be Balogun, or we go get a striker. That's just how I see it right now.
Igal, do you have a problem reading comments? Bro, are you just tired parenting duties? No, man, I really do have a problem reading. I struggle to read at a high level. So my bad, guys. Sometimes I mess up words and everything else. Igal, what's the obsession with Eddie? ? I don't know. I don't know if you mean it in a bad way or in a good way, but I really do think Eddie's going to be given opportunities to still get a lot of game time. And will Mikel Arteta play him in the next game versus Man City will tell us a lot of what we're planning to do for the beginning of the season next season. Don't act like he didn't score a goal today. He did, but after how many chances? How many chances did it take for him to get that goal?
But that's what I mean. Like, I'm not taking the goal away from him. I'm not saying he can't score goals. But my issue is, when you're talking about winning the league, you're talking about fine margins. You've got to be able to convert like 1 in 3. You know, if you're looking at Haaland missing this many chances, he's getting replaced. He's not going to be, trusted as the striker. And that's the kind of levels we need to raise to. And the reality is, look, the reason why I'm not panicking is I'm hoping it's Trossard and not Eddie Nketiah starting the season. But of course, the answers are going to come on Sunday, depending on how we start and how we finish that game will kind of give us an indication. But thankfully, our first game is Nottingham Forest. I really couldn't care less who starts that one, because if you can't score against Nottingham Forest, then Eddie, you've got to go. You just got to pack your own bags and go.
Okay. Just before we go into anything else, I'm just gonna show you guys there were some other talking points in this game. Of course, we got to talk about Trossard. Trossard is an absolute beast, bro. Trossard is a beast. Every time he plays, he just makes us look so much better. He makes us look so much more composed. He is a good number 9, number 6, and he can even play on the wing if you need him on the left. He's just the full package. And the reason being, there's a lot of young players in this team. I would say there's only a couple players that are in their prime, and he's one of them. He's literally in the prime of his career at this moment in time. He's never going to get any better than this, I don't think. So we should utilize him as much as possible. He is the guy who can hold us down. Instant impact off the bench, changes games whenever he comes in. The energy that he provides to us. You give him the ball in any situation, he's just comfy with it. Honestly, I think he's the solution to all our problems.
Oh, 100. 100. I mean, when you look at him technically, in terms of just understanding the system as a whole, he comes into a variety of positions. He comes into the left centre mid, he comes into the left wing, striker, right wing, but he also gives the ability to interchange the players as well. So if Martinelli wanted to drop in more centrally, he can come and cover the wide areas and, vice versa. So for me, and also when you look at his ability to just play make as well as score goals, he's the perfect solution to what we're looking for. Especially if, for example, we're going to go with the Timbers, Kieran Tierney, but also when you then factor in Kai Havertz, for example. When you looked at Kai Havertz when he came on with Trossard, the link-up play that they had was the best I've seen Havertz. And Havertz has now started to do the half turns, bring space, drive the ball forward, make things happen, get the passes and start controlling tempo again. And that's going to really help with Trossard because they can then interchange between themselves. Trossard dropping in deep, Havertz going a bit forward, and just interchanging between them. And that's the commodity we need to start using. The problem with like Eddie Nketiah is too predictable, whereas with Trossard has a bit of unpredictability, close control, and a little bit more variety. And the closest sort of profile we have to Jesus. Now, Jesus is very silky, whereas with Trossard is very technical. So for me, I just hope it is Trossard and Martinelli, and then obviously Kai Havertz in midfield. But if it's not, we just got to hope and pray that Eddie doesn't let us down.
I'm just going to tell people calm down because, yes, we might need a striker to go on and win the Champions League and to go and win one-off competitions like that. But in a league campaign, you can win it without a striker. You just need your team to contribute goals across the board and to have good defensive performances. Midfields and defenses win you leagues, not goals. Goals don't win you leagues. What wins you leagues is your defense. Ask Jose Mourinho. Ask Pep Guardiola. Ask all these guys. What wins you league titles is your defense. At the end of the day, if you concede less goals, you're gonna win. Now, I know if you concede less goals, but you don't score many goals, also you're gonna end up drawing a lot of games. So we're gonna have to make sure we do have the cutting edge. But in the same breath, I do believe with our midfield reinforcement and our defensive reinforcement, we have the bedrock to go and win these games because we were scoring we were having games where we were scoring 3 goals and conceding 2 at the Emirates. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be keeping clean sheets. And that's another situation. We conceded again today. We got to fix that up.
And it's been a massive problem. I mean, but then again, the only grace we have is we've not seen our starting defense actually play, and that's the only hope I've got. I know I'm clutching and it's copium and all of that, but at the same time, I do want to see Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, and maybe Yurian Timbers until Zinchenko's back before I start judging the defense heavily. So yeah, time will tell. I mean, Sunday's a big one.
Okay. Let's get into. Can you see my screen still? No.
No, you've not shared it.
Next, we're gonna have to get into some of the debutants. What did you think of Timber's performance before we get into Kai Havertz and Declan Rice? What did you think of Timber's performance? Because I thought Timber's performance was solid. Guys, calma. Stop worrying about the striker. We're gonna move on the topic. We're gonna talk about the striker another time. I promise. Okay. Iga, we're rewatching Arsenal games when Haleb, Flamini, and Fabregas kept the ball and created for fun in the center of the park, ? Yeah, that's true. Indian Gunu here is saying we need a striker. We once had very creative midfielders, but we were struggling to score goals still.
But anyways, we can move on from that because I think we've kind of made our stances clear on that. But in terms of Yuri and Timbers, my God, like where do we start with this player? He's exactly what epitomizes like an Arteta signing. And when you think about it, for 40 million euros or 40 million pounds, he's by far, in terms of a buy, one of the bargains of the summer. In terms of what he's going to be able to do, and one thing that I saw in his game today that I've not seen previously was actually how clever he was when he tucked into midfield. It wasn't constant. It wasn't like he sat in midfield next to the likes of Partey and Rice, but he chose his moments. He saw when the opportunity arose that I need to cover the centre of the park. He did it. But when he needed to stay out wide, he did that as well to link up with the likes of Martinelli, overlap Martinelli, or even do an underlap, an inverted run, for Martinelli. And that's one of the things we need to start seeing is smart run and positions. And that's what we're starting to see. The only problem we have is Declan Rice isn't familiar with this role. So we're still seeing a few flaws. We're still seeing a few, jittery moments from a lot of them. But in terms of Yuri and Timbers, I mean, when you looked at when he kind of swapped over with Tomiyasu in the first half and he darted forward, they're the kinds of things we're going to start to see a little bit more the more comfortable he gets. We've also got to understand this is the first time he's played with the Emirates crowd being as it is. So there's going to be a bit of nerves. There's going to be a bit of excitement. There's going to be emotions involved. But now that he's got that out of the way, we're now going to start to see the best of him and his ball playing ability, his ability to carry the ball. If you look at his stats for Ajax in the Eredivisie, the most forward passes, one of the most advanced runs for a defender. He was top metrics for all these attacking defensive positions. So that's all we've got to see. We've got to start seeing more of that from him. And you know what? For me, one of the bargains of the summer.
I think Timber is just outstanding, and he's been amazing at left back, right back, center half. He can do everything, and he's just one of those guys who's going to be a Swiss Army knife for us this season. A crucial player in any squad when you have a player that can do everything well and nothing mediocre at all. So big up to him so far. I want to know what everyone thinks about Declan Rice now, because Declan Rice, in my opinion, he came off at halftime, and it looked like he was a left 8 at times. He even had an opportunity to score goals. And I'm just saying to myself, once this guy gets going and he gets his feet under him and he gets everything going in the right direction, people are going to start saying that 150, 105 that we paid for him is nothing. People are going to start talking. They're not going to talk about his price tag. Come the end of the season, people are going to be talking as he's one of the best defensive midfielders or one of the best midfielders in the league, as he deserves to be credited in that way. I know playing at West Ham and playing at Arsenal is two different things, but I do think he'll get used to it very quickly. And we don't really have time for him to be mucking about and taking too long to learn the system. I think he's going to have to get his feet from under him quickly. And it's crucial that Thomas Partey stays, because Thomas Partey is going to make his life a lot easier as he's trying to get acclimatized to playing in that 6th position in the future.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree. I think the problem with Declan Rice is, in comparison to many of our other signings, is he's played for a team that doesn't do even remotely what the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Man City, the likes of Liverpool do. So that's the reason why we're seeing major flaws in his game right now. And the reason is his adaptation is going to take a lot longer than a lot of other players that we're seeing. Yuri Timber knows the system. When you look at someone like Ben White when he came in, Ramsdale when he came in, you're kind of doing it for Timbers. Like, it was his player. So Baldy can get some credit. But anyways.
Can you read this comment?
Yeah, I meant we are unable to keep sustained possession of the ball even when sometimes we win, hence unable to control matches when oppositions get physical.
That might be true, but at the same time, I don't feel like we ever had like a team that was fully as good as holding onto the ball in many different areas of the pitch. Last year we were the most technically skilled we have, and now we've increased that technical skill, so we should be able to do it more now. And it will come down to when we can finally get that striker. If and when we get that striker, I don't think it's going to be this summer transfer window. I think it's going to be something that we save for next transfer window. But if we buy in Kudos, a backup for Thing, and everything else, that will work.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, kind of talking around, I don't like him in the 8. I'll be honest with you. I feel like the same flaws like Granit Xhaka had is what I'm seeing with Rice. I mean, look, eventually he could grow into the role and start scoring 10, 15 goals in that position, but it's the fine margins. Like, for example, that moment that he had through on goal, that should have been a goal. Like, I know it was a good defensive performance. I know the defensive was good, but you've got to have the confidence just to be able to take that quicker. And that's the fine margins we're talking about. When you look at the positions he was taking up, they weren't. You don't look at Rice and go, yeah, he's going to score goals. You see it and being, yeah, this is going to be a shut off. This is going to be where let's say we're 1-0 up in a very tight game. Let's say a prime example, Anfield last season when we were 2-0 up. That's when you want to see the likes of Partey and Rice actually play in the midfield together, because that's going to shut up shop. They're both going to be defensive and they can control the midfield a lot better. But what you really want to be doing is having someone like Kai Havertz actually start the game and then bring someone like Rice and Partey on. That's just my personal opinion. I didn't personally like it. I thought there was no fluidity. There wasn't the creativity that we've been seeing. Yes, there were moments in that first half that we looked really good, but I'll be honest with you, it was one of our worst fluid performances. Now, yes, they need time. It was the first time we've seen a midfield like this, but yeah, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the experiment personally, and it's why I keep saying I don't think we're going to see Rice and Partey as much together as many of the fans think.
Was Rice playing good? I wouldn't say he played good, but I also wouldn't say he played bad. I would just say it would be a so-so performance. Like, I think a lot of people are just looking at Declan Rice with a microanalyzation, Kai Havertz with a microanalyzation. I didn't think either of them played bad. I think Kai Havertz's penalty was outstanding, and really the rest of his game for that time that he came on, I didn't notice anything bad. So there's not really much to say about Kai Havertz. But hey, big up to my guy Abdi saying, "Mashallah for the new kid, Sahib. Big up to you, bro. Appreciate it." Rice is average at best. When will people realize this? I think you're just hating, my friend. I think you're just hating. But let's get into some of the serious stuff, because now this is Mikel Arteta talking about Zinchenko, talking about Balogun, talking about he talks about the injury. He spoke about a lot of key things. And guys, brace yourselves. This is an explosive interview. Like, you think I'm joking? He went in. Okay, so
yeah, this is the first time I'm reacting to this. I've seen comments, but I've not seen it all.
Okay, so first he spoke about Jesus' injury, and this is what he said. All right, unfortunately, he had a little bit of procedure this morning, and some discomfort in his knee, causing some issues. And result, it's not something major, but will go out for a few weeks, I think. Right, and then he spoke about his injury. Right. And then he spoke about when it happened. Obviously, he spoke about Barcelona. But this is the key part that I found very interesting. He spoke about the injury and also directed the Balogun part to the injury before I get into Bukayo Saka. Now, this here is interesting, right? If Jesus' injury changes any plans with Balogun, this tells me Balogun is gone. He is gone, verbatim. The plans with Flo Balogun doesn't change at all. But unfortunately, with Gabriel's injury, we are not going to have him. We have other options to play in with different qualities of players. So we will adapt. Balogun is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about the guy. If there's nothing more clear than that, he is gone. This is why I said it was explosive. He never gives you straightforward answers, but this is as straightforward as possible. He is gone. So to the Tommies of the world, I'm sorry, your boy Balogun is getting sold. Forget about him. This is clear as day. Have you ever seen him go this serious?
Well, we don't know what the plan actually was to begin with.
Bro, they asked him quickly, straightforward, on if Balogun's injury changes any transfer plans with Balogun. Meaning that, do you plan on keeping him?
Yeah, but the reality is we already knew but that's with any player in the squad. If a massive offer comes in for any of these players, even Thomas Partey, we sell.
But doesn't that mean he's gone? Everyone in the chat.
Okay, but then in that case, I'm going to argue Thomas Partey's still on the block, because if, for example, a bid for 40 to 50 million comes in for Thomas Partey, I see him going.
I don't think he said he doesn't want to get any weaker, and Thomas Partey, Jorginho, and Rice are part of his plans for next season. This is straightforward saying, bro, I'll sell your ass.
But when has Arteta said the plan is to sell him?
He's not saying he's planning on keeping him. He's even mentioning
That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
listen
We
to the final part.
genuinely have no
We
idea
have
what the plan
other
is.
options to play in different qualities of players, so we will adapt. Why is he mentioning adapting? Why is he mentioning other players? Why doesn't he just say Balogun is a quality
Because
player?
you're not going to come out and say whether he's on for sale or whether he's not for
Bro,
sale.
this is
You're just not going to make it obvious.
clear cut telling me he's gone.
We'll see. I still look. I'm not saying he isn't going to be sold, but I don't think that is genuinely the clear cut plan. If, like I said, if someone bids 50 million, then yes, they're 100% taking it. But if it's any less than that, I don't see him going.
People are saying there's updates coming out that it's going to be a month minimum. What? A month? Where are you getting this update from? I don't see anything that says
I've not had a chance to look.
Nah, but to me, this means he's gone, bro. I believe this quote tells me Arteta has other plans for the guy. And those plans are him to be away from the club, in my opinion. I don't see this coming out as anything but an admission that he's going to be sold. That's just me. And I believe a lot of you guys probably read it the same way that I read it. I don't think anyone here is sitting here reading that and saying, oh, he's somebody he wants to keep him. He's saying that because he wants to keep him. No, he's saying that because he's keeping the door open for him to get sold.
I've never denied that. I said, yeah, the door is open for him to leave, but I don't think it's as clear cut as, yeah, we just go. But I just hope it's not Eddie Nketiah, because if that's the sword he wants to die on, he better fucking produce. If he doesn't, Arteta's got questions.
Okay, people in the comment section, let me know if you guys agree with me or if you agree with Souls. Who do you think is right on this one? Sack the medical staff.
The medical staff's going anyway.
It's not the medical staff, bro. It's that guy from Barcelona, that idiot that people think is as good as Saliba. Igal Jesus will be out for a month. We'll have to wait and see. Balogun needs to keep Balogun to be kept played. Jesus is out for a month. We know there is going to be any setbacks. You can buy Lukaku from Chelsea. We don't want Lukaku, bro. We don't want Lukaku. You gotta stop dreaming. Jesus is out. The plans for upcoming games now. We need a friggin' striker. We're gonna have to adapt, as Mikel Arteta said. We're gonna have to adapt. It doesn't look like we're gonna buy a striker, guys. Now let me just give you guys some quick updates on Zinchenko's injury. I think he's close, and he's going to start training with the team. Hopefully, he'll be back very soon. In other news, spoke about Bukayo Saka not featuring in the game. He said he was fine, but afterwards he wasn't feeling great on the bench, and we didn't want to use him. I think he had a sickness or some illness, so could not use him, understandably so. And then, of course, he spoke about Aaron Ramsdale's performance. Wink, wink. We know why people are talking about Aaron Ramsdale's performance. On if there's still if Ramsdale is still in his plans? Yes, it's still the same. Then he also spoke about Raya. I'm not going to talk about players that are not here. I'm sorry. And then, is there anything else? No, that's it. But guys, I thought that was explosive. I don't know if you guys, am I overdoing it? Am I kind of over dramatizing the situation?
But this is a fairly standard. Let's be honest. This is standard from Arteta.
Bro, that is crazy.
How is it crazy? Like,
bro, that is crazy to me. He went and fully said, he went and fully basically kept the door open for the guy to be sold, and didn't.
So okay. Let me ask you the question, right? So if the plan was always to leave the door open to get him sold, how is that explosive? Because he's saying the plan hasn't changed. So he's already.
What is explosive is the final part. Gabriel Jesus just got injured. We don't know the extent of his injury and how long he's out for. He goes on and says, we're going to have to adapt, and we have different players. When you fully have a striker there who scored 20 goals last season, who people are basically saying, let's keep him, let's play him, let's do this. And he's basically saying, you know what? Nothing's changed. Balogun is basically, in my opinion, the way I read this is he's basically saying Balogun is going to get sold, and we have other players who can play with different qualities that can adapt and get into that situation in the striker role. So basically, to me, what I'm reading it as is we have Eddie, we have Trossard, we have Havertz who can play in that position if need be, and Balogun is asking get sold. That's me. I don't know if you guys agree with me or if I'm talking crazy.
I wouldn't say it's explosive. I'd say it's quite normal. Like if you look at an Arteta like press conference, even without it's standard. It's nothing new.
Someone said standard Arteta waffle.
Not waffle, but yeah, it's standard. I'm not like surprised by. I thought when you said explosive, I thought he legit came out and said something. I was like, all right, like.
Okay, maybe I'm over exaggerating. Some people are saying Egal's correct. Balogun is gone. Some people are saying I'm over exaggerating. Some people are saying Balogun is gone. People are saying Eddie was great today.
I was great today.
He scored a goal. He was the captain. How do you feel about the captaincy? Do you care? I really don't care. During the season,
because it's pre-season, isn't it? So like we know during the season it's going to be Odegaard, Jesus, Gabriel. Who else is there? Like that's pretty much it. Party maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's get into some of the juicy stuff, ladies and gentlemen, because there is other stuff going on around Arsenal. So I'm going to go to one of my favorite Arsenal Twitter accounts and let's go through some of the stuff that's going on. So, of course, we already know the lineup. We've already known about the Balogun to West Ham stuff. Did you know Marquinhos is linked to Olympiacos? Did you know about this?
No, I didn't see that at all.
Marquinhos is linked to Olympiacos. Apparently, Austin Trust City is already on his move. 5 million with a permanent we hope to get a permanent £5 million deal for Austin Trusty. That's more than I would have thought. I thought we were going to get 2 million for him, so that's pretty good. Balogun is on his way to get a loan move to Burnley, reunited with Vincent Kompany. Hopefully,
you said Balogun, by the way, it's Lokonga.
Sorry, Lokonga. I always mess up. You know what I did today? Today I was doing a video talking about Man City, and I said Bernardo Silva instead of David Silva. I got crucified. Anyways, Lokonga is on the move to Burnley and is edging even closer and closer with an obligation to buy if he reaches a certain number of games played. So that's something to keep an eye out on. Then you have the situation here. I can't believe somebody in Greece wants him. Apparently,
he's not a terrible player. Let's be real. Like,
bro, Nottingham Forest people told me they're shocked. How had he even get to Arsenal? He's not Brazilian. They said.
No. Like, I'm not saying he's good for us. That's
bro. Guys were saying he's not Brazilian. They said he's some other race. Like
he's Bengali, and it's what they keep saying.
Yeah, they're like he's Bengali. He can't be. He kind of looks like it, but they're saying he's not Brazilian.
You should see his parents. I get where they're coming from, but. Yeah, but the thing is, he's not a bad player. Like he's genuinely an okay player. Like for a lower opposition, not for Arsenal.
Lokonga, we got scammed. 100%, we got scammed.
Yeah.
Think about it. Anderlecht sold him to us, and now the former Anderlecht manager is getting him on loan. It is what it is. Lokonga,
he'll do good with Burnley.
By the way, Nicolas Pepe. He's on his way out of the club. The Terminator Edu has come alive, and he's going to be terminating his contract potentially. So potentially Arsenal are going to terminate his contract, and he has a move to Besiktas on the cards after we terminate his contract. Besiktas obviously don't want to pay any money for him, but once we terminate his contract, they'd be willing to sign him on a free. So unfortunately, we can't get any money for him, but. It is what it is.
It goes to show, though, isn't it? Because like Arteta got absolutely crucified for not using Nicolas Pepe, and if we're terminating the contract, or even if the rumors are we're terminating the contract, how is it only Besiktas that are interested? If he's such a good player, why are more teams not lining up on a free, by the way, to get Nicolas Pepe?
Because his performance on loan was so poor that reports came out that nobody in world football wants to buy him on a permanent.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say to people.
And his wages are ridiculous too. He's on like 200K. Or close to that, 180.
I mean, if you're going to pay 73 million for a player, of course, like the wages are going to be quite high.
Some people still want to keep Pepe. There's people in the chat who want to. Pepe's better than Vieira, they say. Is he?
Okay, but does that make it okay to keep him?
You know what? Someone here says, how many contracts has Edu terminated? You know what? I think most of those terminations were needed.
Yep. Yeah, 100. Like, the thing is, they're all justifiable. Messi Ozil, too much money. Aubameyang, too much money. Pepe, on too much money.
Willian terminated himself.
Yeah, he said, I'm gone. Like,
Willian did us a solid. He terminated his own contract. You're freaking dead. Who said keep Pepe? Yo, talk to your boys in the chat. People want to keep him. People want
Why?
to keep.
Like, what
People are
for?
saying, nah, Vieira's miles better. Why are people trying to compare him to Fabio Vieira, bro? I think Fabio Vieira is a better right winger right now than Pepe would be for us.
Yeah, because he suits the system more. That's all it is. Like the issue with Vieira isn't anything to do with his ability. He just needs to like mentally strengthen himself up and say, "Do you know what, I'm going for these 50-50s," which he did do today, to be fair to him.
Yeah. Did you see this report? Tomiyasu has
Yeah.
officially been offered. Tomiyasu hasn't been offered to any Italian club, despite reports Arsenal regard the player part of the plan, and the situation could only change if Arsenal sign a new fullback, but nothing close or advanced at the moment. Now, it was interesting that we heard links to him being linked away, because if you look at the actual squad, he might be somebody who's not in the matchday squad every week.
Potentially, yeah. When you were showing that bench, I was like, "Oh crap, yeah, he might not make it."
Yeah. So, but of course, whenever you guys hear sources from Italy that have 17 letters in the name of the newspaper, don't trust it. Yeah. What is it called? Calabalcapalos. I forget what they're called. That Calabalcapalos. What are they called? That
I
Italian
don't know.
that Italian media source in Italy that said Thomas Partey swap deal for Arthur. What was that name? The name of that group. They were on some next stuff. What were they? What was it? What was it? Let me find it. Gazzella della Sport. There you go.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard of them. Yeah.
Gazzella della Sport. They're the same people who said we're going to do a swap deal for Arthur and Partey. Get the hell out of here with this bullshit, man. They said 20 million though. Inter Milan were willing to spend 20 million on Tomiyasu.
Do you know what though? There is a part of me that's like, you know what? If they sold him, I'd understand it. But I understand why they want to keep him, because he is a solid player. But the problem is he keeps breaking down. If there's a 25-30 million pound offer, I think we take it.
I don't know if we sell him. I think the plan is to actually have as much quality players in the team and to not get weaker. And I think they would view losing Takehiro Tomiyasu and not making any additional signings. We'd rather get rid of Cedric.
Oh no, he's got to go anyway. In my head, he's gone.
Yeah, so Cedric's got to go, guys. If you don't know, but yeah, let me just go to. I think it was my boy Rory who tweeted something out the other day. So I'm just gonna go back to that list, and we're gonna have to go through how many of these guys we got to get rid of, because we need to sell players. We need to get rid of players, and my prediction is we terminate some contracts, we sell some players, and we end up having like a handful of players actually left at the end of the day. So let's go through it. So I'm going to name players. You let me know what you think is going to happen with these players, right? Let me show you. So this is the list for everyone watching at home. Hopefully you guys can see what we're showing you. Can you see what I'm showing you? So these are the players, the extra players in the squad currently. So Tomiyasu is going to stay. Fabio Vieira is going to stay. Eddie Nketiah is going to stay. Balogun is probably going to get sold. Holding either gets sold or we terminate his contract. Cedric, either we terminate his contract. Pepe, terminate his contract. Tavares, loan or sell. Lokonga, loan or sell. Trusty, sell. Hein, he's going to stay as a third choice. Runnerson, we're going to get rid of him, either terminate or sell. And that's it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players we get rid of this summer transfer window. That's excluding academy players like Charlie Patino and other guys like that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying right now. And of course, if you guys want to see the starters are going to be obviously if it's Turner or Rea, Timber, Cavior, Tierney, Jorginho, Havertz, Emil Smith Rowe, Trossard, Reece Nelson. And then we're going to have 3 players extra that are not in the matchday squad. What are you
That's
saying?
actually kind of crazy, you know. It's
What's
actually
wrong?
crazy because I'm intrigued to see who misses out, but obviously we're not going to know because Gabriel Jesus is injured, so Nketiah obviously comes in. So yeah, it's going to be intriguing out of like Tomiyasu and Fabio Vieira missing out.
Yeah, big up Air Max, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. You gotta stop raising your freaking spirit. You know, we'll regret the starts. What? Fucking regretting it. Nah, bro, I'm not raising the spirit. I'm just being honest. I think, guys, let's stop. Stop for a second. Understand that we are not gonna fall off a cliff. What we were doing last season was very, 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 very sustainable. We have gotten better as a football team. Stop it. What is with this obsession with Balogun? What is with this obsession over a striker? Not every team in world football is complete. Am I wrong? Bro, does every team in world football have to have a striker? Does every team in world football have to have a player in every single position, or at least two players in every single position that are rated to the highest level? Like, I feel like we're over dramatizing this whole thing. Yes, Gabriel Jesus is injured. Injuries happen. We were prepared for it. Mikel
No,
Arteta has
you do now. You do. Let's be real. Like if you're competing against Man City, there's no margin for error.
So you're saying we have zero margin for error at all. We can't have one off game at the beginning of the season, and you're saying we lost the league after one game.
No, but you know what I mean. Now you're being dramatic.
I think people are over.
Okay,
Panic.
can we have like another Nketiah not scoring for eight games? I don't think we can.
I think we have Trossard and we're good. And
That's a
even
different story. But I'm just saying because Eddie Nketiah, as it stands, looks like to be the striker. If we're being logical, if we're going off of preseason, it looks like Eddie Nketiah is the striker.
Man City is complete.
It's not at the moment. They've got a few signings to make because it's only because they lost like Gundogan and Mahrez that I think they need to replace that before I can say yes,
They
they're
have no right
competing.
winger past Bernardo. Really.
Yeah.
But Man City is probably the closest thing to complete, and we're going up against a juggernaut in Man City. We're gonna have to try to do our best. You said you will win the league. You better, you better hope we don't, right? As a Man City fan, you'd hope we don't, right?
Yeah, I don't get this like weird expectation. Man City fans are like, "Oh, you better win the league." That means you're losing it. Do you not realize like what you're saying?
Yeah, you're basically praying for your downfall.
That's like we're saying, "Oh, you better win the league." Like I don't want you to win it. I hope I better win the league.
That's like someone saying, I don't want to go there, but I feel like you're basically doing an Adam 22.
Oh, okay, I get you.
You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
guys get the reference, you guys get the reference. Iga, you need a mod to control the trolls in the chat. You know what? Let the trolls be trolls, man. Let them do their thing. At the end of the day, they're not hurting nobody. If as long as they're not saying nothing racist or they're not cussing anybody out.
I was gonna say no one's been that bad.
Let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. So we spoke about Bukayo Saka. We spoke about Jesus. We spoke about Pepe. We spoke about Lokonga. We spoke about Balogun. There's nothing going on with Nuno Tavares. Nothing going on with Rob Holding. Like it's kind of quiet with some of the names around Arsenal. But I just want to touch on David Raya quickly. You heard we agreed personal terms with Raya?
Yep, I've heard of this. This has been going on for a few days now.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Do you believe Raya is coming in to take Ramsdale's spot, or is it a situation where it's like they fight it out?
Well, I mean, obviously his mentality is going to be he's coming to take Ramsdale's spot, but it is going to be a case of they're fighting it out for who's going to be number one. Because if we're being absolutely honest for a moment as well, you've got to look at what Arteta's been saying and the margin of errors that he's been speaking about. You've got a very slim, opportunity. If goals that he's conceded in preseason, we start conceding in the league, that's going to happen where it's going to be Raya's time to shine. And it's also for me that the way I actually see it is a statement of intent to say, do you know what? We're competing on all fronts. And it's as simple as that. I don't see it as like it is competition for spaces, but it's also to say every competition we go into, we need to have a high level team. And that's how I see that personally. Is we're winning the cups, we're winning the league, we're going for the Champions League, and regardless of who plays, they all have to be up to a level. And that's all I see. Because Raya is, if however you want to put it, there's not huge differences between Raya and Ramsdale, if we're being honest, like, in terms of quality. And that's what we're looking to do.
People asking about what's his name? What's that guy name from Ajax? Mohamed Kudus. No, there's no option on him. We're still just waiting to make sales.
The only thing we know is Partey's actually spoken to Kudus and actually convince him to come to Arsenal. We're looking to table a bid soon. It's the only update we've got.
Yeah. So Zinchenko's partner just gave birth to their second child. So um, that is amazing. I can just show. I would show it. I would show the pictures, but I don't really want to get into all that. But congratulations to Zinchenko and his wife. They just had a baby. Big up to them. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just want to ask one more question before we go. Mikel Arteta is ruthless, and he's not an idiot. Going into the season without another striker, do you think the plan is to just go big next summer and everyone is kind of freaking out for no reason right now? Or do you think it's deserved that people are freaking out about the striker situation? Because I'm a little bit more calm because I'm seeing a lot of the other areas on the pitch getting resolved. And I feel like with a squad good enough in many different areas, you can pick up goals in other areas and you don't necessarily need to worry too much. Now, I see a lot of people in the chat getting very nervous about the fact that Eddie Nketiah is going to be starting games or Trossard is going to be starting games. Are you as nervous as they are?
Which question in terms of Eddie Nketiah, or do you mean like not?
Just the
Eddie Nketiah, yeah, the Eddie Nketiah. I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not that fussed for certain games, but I hope against a bigger teams Trossard plays. That's kind of my stance on that. But in terms of the whole striker thing, it's evident. We can see a pattern with how Arsenal have built this team. We went with a defensive rebuild first, where we bought in, obviously, Saliba coming back on loan, Ben White coming in, Tomiyasu coming in, Gabriel Magalhaes being bought, Kieran Tierney being bought, Timbers being bought, Zinchenko being bought. So we can see that we built out our defense. The second thing that we did this season, obviously with Thomas Partey coming in prior to this, Kai Havertz coming in, Granit Xhaka staying, Odegaard coming in, we built out of midfield. Now our midfield is near enough complete, or we've got enough options in midfield. Now we evidently know the next thing that we're going to do is the attack. Now, we've made statement signings along the way in terms of Declan Rice coming in. That's just statement midfield.
Hey bro, can I stop you for a second? You know what's annoying me right now? The most annoying thing about this is we have 212 people and we haven't even hit 100 likes, bro. How's that possible? We've been going for 57 minutes and we haven't even hit 100 likes. Guys, take a second, stop what you're doing. Every single one of you guys, hit that like button. Let's get to at least 115 likes before the stream's done. That's not hard. Big up Alex in the chat. Adapting and overcoming Havertz. Havertz is balling out. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. We've seen a new Havertz. Havertz is 2.0.
No, he look good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I know people are gonna say I'm being like biased or whatever, but today Havertz actually looked good, and he has been looking progressively better.
Yeah, he's cooking. Listen, I don't know. Rivals are going to be hating on Havertz. Did you see his penalty? Top bins. Banger. No stress. Literally, I am not worried about Havertz at this moment in time.
He's getting double figures. I'm telling you, like, I can see him. If he plays enough games and he actually becomes a star, double figures easy.
Double figure goals?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Like, I'm talking 10. I'm not talking high double figures. I'm talking like between 10 and 15.
I like that. So we know about the Gabriel Jesus situation. We spoke about Trossard. We spoke about Kai Havertz. We spoke about Partey, Rice. We spoke about Bukayo Saka. Defensively, do we have an issue? When we make rotations, does the defense just not look good? Or is it a thing at the Emirates? What is it? Because we've been conceding a lot of goals.
To be fair, I don't think it's a concern because obviously the majority of the times you're going to see majority of your starting team play. So like you're going to see Saliba with the likes of Gabriel. The problem that we've had is we've experimented a lot with the likes of Timbers coming at left back and inverting, or Timbers playing right back and inverting. So we've thrown the balance of the team off a lot just to get people used to it.
Balogun, Jesus might be out for 6 weeks.
Wait, so what happened to a few weeks to 6 weeks? That's a bit of a jump.
Apparently,
that's not what I'm saying. I reckon Balogun stays now.
Apparently, he might have arthroscopic knee surgery to clean up his knee.
He's gonna. I'm telling you, Balogun's staying. There's no way we don't keep Balogun now.
Now, this is not legitimate reports. This is just inside information. But damn, that could mean he's going to be.
The thing is, a lot of those reports became true today.
He could be out. He could be out until the North London Derby in September.
That's techie, man. That's that. Okay. I'm not that concerned. I'm not panicked.
He'll
but
miss
it
the Man
definitely
United
poses
game.
something.
And guys, this is I'm calm, but at the end of the day, it's annoying because you want to go into the
That's
season.
yeah, that's the right word. It's annoying.
It's
I'm
annoying.
not
You
like
want to
yeah.
go into the season fully strength, but it's just sad. Like, you
It
know
is
what?
what it is, man. It is what it is.
I'm buying Trossard stocks. I'm not buying Eddie stocks. I'm buying Trossard stocks. I'm invested in Trossard. I think Trossard can hold it down. I think Eddie, it may be against the smaller teams, he can maybe do a couple games here and there, but Trossard, Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, chipping in the goals, and we're good.
Yeah, even ESR, play him on the left if you need to. That's where
Yeah,
he scores the majority of his goals. So I'm not like the thing is I'm not majorly concerned, but of course you're gonna have questions to see how this plays out.
guys, was Jesus always this injury prone at Man City?
No, because he barely played. That was the issue.
Yeah. Indian Gunners, like I told you, minimum a month, bro. It could be two. Could be two. Mark Strong, big up Mark Strong saying congratulations on the baby. Big up. Question: will Arteta play Trossard in the 9? I don't think he will pick he'll pick Eddie, which is bad. You know what, Sohan? I think you might be right. I think Arteta might be stubborn and play Eddie. But we seen last year when he played Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka, how fluid the system was. So I'm hopeful that he does the same thing as he did last season.
Yeah. Issue is this preseason. I mean, we can read into preseason as much as we want, but we know what Arteta's like. He does a madness. He'll come on the day and start playing Martinelli up top, Trossard, and whatever. So let's just wait. I think Sunday we'll find out what's going to happen.
You know what, guys? Calm up. Calm up. And we gotta
Okay.
go. You guys don't stress yourselves out, man. Don't stress yourselves out. We're 2 likes away from 100 likes, guys. Do me a favor. Get us to 100 likes right now. If you have multiple accounts, hit that like button on multiple accounts. We're out of here. This has been the quick match preview and also gave you some of the news going on throughout the season. This is kind of the format I'm going to do match previews. I might not do player ratings for every game because let's be honest. Does every game deserve a player rating? Some games are going
I
to be
think just the big ones.
yeah.
Because
Not
the
every
smaller
game.
ones, it's hard. It's so hard. Like today, I don't know what to give anyone.
Yeah. I think maybe during the season we can do player ratings for every European games. Probably not because it's going to be like midnight. We're going to be
Oh
here for
yeah,
2
sure, yeah.
hours if we do that. Maybe we do it for all the Premier League games, but for all the other games, no. And for now, I bid you guys adieu. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side for the next one. Big up to everyone. And anything? Have you heard anything on the Bitoli signing? Nothing, bro. Nothing. Oh, get more panelists. The plan is we're going to do the panel shows separately from the match reaction shows. So the panel show will happen like on the Tuesday or on the Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, we have Champions League, so the panel shows are going to have to be on Mondays, and then we're going to have another panel show on the before maybe 1 or 2 panel shows a week if we can, plus vibes from the 6 twice a week. So it's going to be a lot of content for you guys. Don't worry, we're not going nowhere. People saying bring Johnny Minerals on. I don't know if Johnny Minerals likes me. It is what it is. We'll talk about it. You guys have a good one. We're out of here, people. Peace. Oh, where is it?